Hello everybody, and welcome back to Dr. Ghost Games. If y'all new to the channel, welcome. I'm Dr. Ghost, and I make content for the game, World of Warships Legends. Today we're going to be in the Gorky, and we're going to be on Two Brothers, and this time it is not a domination mode. And yeah, so the thing with the Gorky is it is a Tier 5 Russian tech tree heavy cruiser. It's basically a Molotov. If you guys aren't aware what the Molotov is, it's a Tier 5 premium Russian heavy cruiser. It's basically the same ship as this. Just this one is the tech tree version of it. And it's not a bad ship by any stretch of the imagination. Now, it does have some pretty bad armor, which you guys might see some examples of that throughout this gameplay. But it does have very good guns. These 180mm guns, 7-inch guns, or 1 inch below 8-inch guns are very strong. And the AP is really nasty, and the HE is also pretty decent as well. The one thing that makes these 7-inch guns so good is that they're not 8-inch guns. Now, it might be a simple way of generalizing these guns, but they are just big enough that they're not light cruiser guns, and they're just small enough that they're technically heavy cruiser guns, and they're perfect. They are the perfect caliber for punching everything, right? You're not going to overpen as much in this ship. You still will get overpens, but not as much because they're a little bit smaller. And it should be easier to penetrate light cruisers and other cruisers. Now, you guys are going to be seeing, since my armor is really bad, a lot of island play, as you guys can see here. Now, island play is what you want to be doing in any cruiser, even if you have a lot of armor. If you can get free shells over an island without being spotted, that's pretty detrimental. Now, I'm already taking shots, and I already take a hit for about 5,000, just showing off how bad the armor is. The armor is not good. Oops, sorry about that for bumping into my mic there if you guys heard that, but the armor, like I was saying, is not very good, and you guys got to be pretty careful because you can get really screwed up in this thing if you're not, careful. Now, I'm going to go out of the way real quick to stop talking about the ship and the gameplay for a minute. I'm going to ask some of you guys to maybe consider subscribing, because I don't usually bring this up until the end of the video, but there is about 80% of you guys that aren't subscribed. And if you guys are returning viewers, or you guys are maybe just stopping by, you guys can maybe go take a look at some of my other videos. But if you guys want, feel free to go down below and subscribe to the channel, because it helps out more than you think, and it's free. So, alright, with all that being said, let's talk back about the Gorky. Now, the Gorky, like we were talking about with these guns, there's a citadel. See, usually what I would do in a lot of my ships is I would usually overpen Atlantis. Now, I'm actually citadeling him, which is actually pretty good. And as you guys can see, this AP is nasty, and the guns are pretty accurate. Now, they can be a bit trolly, like that, for example, but overall, they're pretty decent guns. And yeah, I don't have any problems with them. And they're even going to be on the Tier 6, the Talon. I'm just going to call it the Talon. Most people call it that, so I'm going to call it the Talon. But yeah, the Talon gets 4 of these guns. They get 2 in the front, 2 in the back, which makes them even more fun, because you get what, 12 of them instead of the 9 that the ship has. And there's another citadel. And yeah, bringing our damage to 33,000 damage. Like I said, man, these guns are not bad at all. They're fantastic. You just got to be very careful in the Gorky. I'm just going to keep repeating that. If you're not playing it well, or you're being all willy-nilly and being very reckless with this ship, you can get absolutely obliterated. You got to be pretty careful. You got to be aware of your surroundings. And yeah, so keep that in mind. Now, we're taking some shots here at this Monahan, and we do actually get a hit, but not for much damage. So we're waiting for our guns to reload, and hopefully we're going to be able to pop someone else pretty hard. Now, one thing with these guns is the HE is not as good as some other cruisers. Now, it's still pretty strong, and I have a little bit of a build for my HE. I think I have the fire chance up to 16%, which isn't bad, but it's not great either for a heavy cruiser. That's like light cruiser levels of fire chance. Now, the HE, as you guys can see, there still isn't bad at all. I'm still setting some fires. I got also the reload down to like 11 seconds. I think the base reload's like 12 to 13 seconds. But I have this reload down a bit so I can shoot these guns out there faster and keep these shells rolling and keep the damage output rolling as well. And we're going to keep firing these guns off and doing as much damage as we can. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That's what you're doing in cruisers, is rinsing and repeating. You're rinsing and repeating all your firepower, just so you can get more and more damage over time, and get those citadels on cruisers, maybe penetrations on battleships with your AP. And yeah. Now, we are up to about 50,000 damage. Not bad at all. I mean, hey, I'll take it. And that there's an enemy division on the enemy team that is, they're both in the battleships, and they spawned on this side, and they are causing nothing but pain for our team. And as you guys can see there, that Tennessee way out there is going to get some pretty nasty hits into us coming up here soon, because he can actually lob a lot of shells over the island because he is so far out. So if I get spotted here like I am now, he might shoot at me and absolutely crap on me. So I start backing up so I can get closer to the island, so I can hopefully not get shot at by that New Mexico and maybe even break spot. But unfortunately, I think I won't be able to, because there is a destroyer out there. Now, are we about to get our first kill of the game? I think we are about to get our first kill in the game, on that Nuremberg. And yeah, just like that, we got our first kill, and our damage up to about 64,000 damage. So, yeah. So we got a bunch of shells coming in from that Nuremberg before he died, and unfortunately for him, he did miss. Thankfully for me, he missed. And as you guys can see here, our team has completely pretty much collapsed on this side. So I have no choice but to disengage from this this area. Now, I'm not going to fully disengage. I'm just going to kite out. I'm going to keep these guns rolling, and I thought I was screwed here. I thought I was going to take a torp, but fortunately for me, they do run out because they are the slow American, sort of, on the Monahan, they're a bit longer range, but they're not very good torpedoes, and I could dodge them probably. So I'm not too worried about that, but yeah. So we're not going to completely disengage. We're not going to fully give up our side. We're just going to kite out so that way we can hopefully force the enemy to get into a position where I could just keep them spotted and keep my guns rolling and hopefully dodge in return. Now, rushing in here like this, using this island up here might have been a mistake. It actually does manage to work out for me in the end, but pushing up here and if there was a DD here, if that battleship would have been anywhere close to me, if it was around that corner, I could have got absolutely destroyed here. But luckily, the battleships don't push up too far yet, and they're pretty slow, so they don't have any shots on me, and I can just basically farm off this Monahan and basically almost take him out any second here. And we actually managed to get a fire on him, and we do fire just one of our... Actually, we fire none of our guns because the torpedoes from our teammate is going to kill him. Now, as you guys can see there, the Tennessee does shoot at me, and he does miss. So yeah, keep that in mind. And we do actually get a fire on him in return, which is pretty good. And here in a second, I'm going to be switching over to armor piercing because he is showing some pretty good broadsides. I think I'm going to get one more salvo of HE off before I do that. So I do actually get a second fire on him, and then I switch over to AP, because broadside battleships are actually pretty good for these AP shells. You're not going to get citadels or anything, but you could definitely get some really nasty penetrations. And there's our high caliber, by the way. And we're up to about 95,000 damage, almost at 100k right now. So we're looking pretty well so far in our first look at this Gorky here. It's not at all a bad ship. And we do fire off a full salvo of armor piercing, and unfortunately he does turn in, so our damage is going to be very limited. And now we switch over to high explosive because he's basically angled. My AP isn't going to be as effective. So we are about to fire off a full salvo of HE at him, and we're going to keep these guns rolling, keep the damage rolling ultimately. We actually do get a fire there, and we shoot off another salvo of HE. And that's about it. Nothing much else to talk about with a ship. If you like cruisers, and you can play cruisers pretty well, and if you guys like the Molotov even, you guys will definitely like the Gorky. It's not a bad ship, you just got to be careful in it. It's got some pretty bad armor, and it has not the best maneuverability either, so you got to be pretty careful about it, but using islands can definitely help. Like you guys saw there, that little lip of that island here on Two Brothers is not a bad position to be in. And yeah, we've been utilizing that, and now we're just kind of kiting around, turning away, that kind of thing. And here in a second, if we can actually kill that Tennessee, we'll actually be able to get an arsonist, and I think that salvo is going to be able to. And yes, there we go. We get our third kill of the game. along with an arsonist, and that's going to be the last kill. So keep that in mind. Now we have what is it called? A high caliber, and we have a arsonist, and we finish off at 121,000 damage. And even though we did lose this side, we managed to pull it around and kite around and win this side. And that's how you do it. And now I'm going to go ahead and fast forward right now, as you guys can see here ahead, to the end of the match. And I will come back when we are at the end of the match. See you there. And yeah, here we are at the end of the match. Our team does manage to take out the last target, and that's the battle ended. We finish off at 121,000 damage, a high caliber, an arsonist. We were first on the leaderboard by a significant margin. If you all enjoyed this one, punch the like button. Leave a comment below what you guys' thoughts on whatever. I'll be looking forward to get back to all of you. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out. Stay healthy, as always.